That is
that
a good one right there.
A white and a black.
White and a black crappie. And today, this is what we're after. We're on Stockton Lake. We're gonna be after transition crappie. We're here with our buddy JR Oldham. And this is what we're after right here. This is gonna be a fun show. I think you're gonna learn a little something right here. And it's gonna get you boys out during the toughest times to catch crappie. We're gonna show you how to catch them today on the G3 Sportsman. Good job, JR.
We did it.
Up. Gobbling up. Let's get them boys in the live well. Get him. I'm gonna tell you something right there. Good girl. That is a good one. I gotta get him out of that. That's a heck of a crappie right there.
Now get out of her way.
That's a good start right there. Tell you what. The G3 Sportsman is presented by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. That's pretty cool to be able to watch that though. This is like I'm drop shotting crappie.
There he is.
Hey, there we go. Was he in that 20?
No, I was still right down close to the bottom.
Were you? It's like playing a video game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice black. He's a good black.
Ain't a kid. What are you talking about, JR? Man. That is a good one. What we're doing today, boys and girls, is we're chasing transition crappie with our good buddy JR here on Stockton Lake. And we say transition, it's the difference between when the crappie are from the cold winter months into spring, and also it works in the fall, from the fall patterns into the winter, doesn't it, JR?
That's right, and what we're doing today is we've had a cold front come through, and these fish will back off. So what we're doing is we're fishing along a bluff right now that drops right into the river channel.
Real finicky, gonna have to use the graph today, and we're actually gonna look like we're drop shotting for crappie. It's gonna be a fun show. Good start there. You gonna keep any of them?
If you're ready for some fish, we'll throw them in the live well.
I'll set the live well up. There's a fish.
Got him on. Coming up like a bass. Are you bass fishing again? No, that's a white crappie. He's active.
Going right. Yeah.
Now he
was active.
He was wanting to get loose too. He was fighting like a bass.
How about that?
That's a 10 and a half, 11 inch fish.
Because that's what you want right there. I mean, that's a stack of good crappie right there. And man, he rocked me. That wasn't no light bite.
That's good.
I put it right down there in the kitchen.
Scott, you know, a lot of people ask me what do they need to get to be able to, in order to see their small jigs when they're fishing like this, 30, 40 foot deep. And it's not necessarily the price of your unit. Your pixels and your wattage is your main thing in order to be able to pick your small structure up and your small jigs.
You can see my little old 16th ounce jig bouncing up and down. Well, price is always something that people are looking into, and what we're fishing with this little Echo 550. You're looking at, depending on the model, $200 to $400.
Right.
And in this day and time, you get something that's got that kind of clarity that can help you find fish. That's what you're wanting. If you're wanting, but this little unit right here is finding this fish.
And look at them coming up out there following him up.
Yeah.
That's a good keeper.
It'd be pretty in that sun.
But a crappie is pretty unique on most locators. They're not a real thick line normally, but your bigger crappie will still have, like on your color graph, will still have some color in it, but they will stay as a steady long line most of the time going across that screen. Look at the fish right there on top of that brush right now, Scott. There's some pretty good, pretty good bulk to them. They got some red in them.
That's fish right there.
That is fish.
Dadgummit. I had him too.
Got him
that time. When you could see them on the graph and even watch them. When you can watch them come up and hit, I'm gonna tell you something. It don't get no better than that right there. This segment of the G3 Sportsman is brought to you by G3 Boats, a great catch. Fiocchi Ammunition, what's your game? Abu Garcia, for life. And by Garmin, we'll take you there.
There's one. He feels better.
Yeah.
Now I dropped right down in that brush.
Dropped it, I mean, right in the kitchen now. That's a little better, isn't it?
He gave up there after got him up so high. Yeah, that's a pretty good white crappie.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 210. There ain't nothing wrong with that right there.
Is it really pays you to have a lot of areas located where the fish are using, because it seems like they're not widespread all over the lake this time of year. That would look like it was a big fish coming up and down. That is actually my spoon.
Yeah.
Now, when you see your jig, it doesn't have that much mass on it.
Right.
But like a fish, you know, you may have a 3-pound walleye down there, and it may not show up much bigger than what that spoon does, but it's neutrally buoyant.
Yeah.
So what it's reading is mainly the difference between that air bladder and the mass of that fish.
What I've got is with this iPilot Minn Kota here, I've got a little anchor feature. I can press that and it'll hold us in this spot, so then we don't have to mess with the trolling motor and we can just stay in one spot, catch the fish right here.
Now that fish right there, what is he, about 17 feet?
Yeah.
That one ought to be catchable. We can get to him.
Well, I'm gonna get right in his wheelhouse. What do you say?
There he is.
Got him. I mean, down in there amongst them.
Now that fish came up to the top of the brush pile and grabbed it.
Yeah.
A nice white.
Yeah, how about that? He probably thumped it then, didn't he?
No, it was a light pop.
Choo-chow. There ain't nothing wrong with that one right there.
It's about a 11. 11-inch white.
Yep.
There seemed to want that blue in the blue pearl in the sunlight.
Yeah. And that's something else. You know, you always have to mess with the colors and change.
Right there we were talking, there was one come up and followed this one up out of the brush.
Yep.
But what we're doing today is we've had a front come through, post front, high pressure, so we're going to be looking for the deep fish. We're going to be concentrating on your steep drops, where they will transition from their shallow points out into even bluff water like what we're going to look at today and what we've been fishing. But what you want to do is you want to be very, how do you want to say it? You've got to be apt to changing depths, changing locations regularly during the day, because they will also be very skittish at this time of the year. They're a little bit nervous when they're making that change from cold water to warm water or from warmer water to cold water. But you got to have a lot of patience, and what we will do is we look around and we try our patience on the deep fish, we'll try on the shallow fish and develop a pattern. See the fish suspended on the outside edge of this?
Uh-huh. Yeah, from about 13 down to even 20.
There he is.
Got him. You called it, didn't you? It's like playing a video game.
Yeah.
It's just like playing a video game. I'm watching him just come up.
There's another black.
Man.
Another 3/4 pounder.
Man, I mean,
now look how he's been feeding. You see that?
Fat.
I mean, he has been in the shad.
Just fat as a butterball.
And what's really good for me is when I have clients out, Scott, I can take to these brush piles like that, and I can tell within the first 5 minutes by watching my jig if those fish are feeding or not, because you can watch them actually react to the way you move your jig and the height you hold it. There he is.
Got him. What about it? Boy, he was way down.
He was right
there.
on the bottom there, 35 foot deep.
Way down.
He ain't got much fight to him.
Is he getting bigger as he's getting closer?
No, but he's a keeper. But
well, yeah, ain't nothing wrong
here,
with
Scott,
that.
I'll let you.
All right.
Now that's what you call you get them when they smell of them. See there?
He just kind of sniffed it, didn't he?
Yeah, and there wasn't much weight. I mean, there was not much of a bite, but he was laying down there right on the bottom.
Just
That's
kinda,
what these
kind of lethargic.
What these cold fronts and high pressure systems does to the blacks. They will lay them down tight. But it's one for Eric's supper anyway.
Yeah, we got to keep Eric fed.
Look at the fish right there on top of that brush right now, Scott. There's some pretty good, pretty good bulk to them. They got some red in them.
See the brush there being in the yellow color.
Yeah, and there goes my jig going down right above them.
Yeah, just watch his jig. You could see it go down. And it's just like playing a game.
The boat kind of drifts off of it about the time I get it down there.
That right there came up, didn't it?
There he is.
I just said that one came up.
He's just swimming out that way.
Yeah. Oh.
There's my black. There's my black. Oh, look at him bend that rod.
Look at that.
Now look at that. Got some meat on him, don't he?
That bull,
look
that
how thick
is
that back
a
is.
good one right there.
We have been catching a lot of these here this year. That is about a 12, probably 12 and a quarter inch Stockton black.
Boy, I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a good one. And you know, we're sitting here watching this graph and we're watching these fish. You've seen this a couple, 3 times now. We're saying, ooh, there's one coming up or whatever, before you could watch it on that graph, and then dang if one of them ain't biting in it.
Twice here in the
Sitting there watching those fish. That's how fun it is with these graphs now, to watch these fish come up and hit.
Look at him pulling him out of there. Look at the screen.
Now, why ain't I getting one hit on mine?
I've told you, green line.
Oh, how about a
Hey,
double?
there you go. We got a double on now. There's a keeper.
Man.
And a keeper.
How about you there? How about you?
Now that is better crappie fishing when you can get 2 at a time.
You ain't kidding, getting 2 at a time now. That's it.
From fall to winter, or spring, or winter to spring, we're looking at basically the same thing. Your fish are either coming from shallow water into deep water for a change, or they're coming from deep to shallow. So you want to be able to intercept them. We got to get on their travel routes, and what better place to do it than along a bluff, and a creek channel bluff or a main lake river channel bluff. Key in on that, and you're going to be looking almost exclusively at both times of the year being on a shad pattern.
Fish on, cast our cares away with each passing wave. Fish on, G3 and Yamaha built to last. Ooh, so fish on.
Visit G3boats.com to find your nearest G3 and Yamaha outboard motor dealer.
This segment of the G3 Sportsman is brought to you by Beretta. 500 years, one passion. Mossback fish racks. No matter how you stack them, we attract them. Berkeley. Catch more fish. Shakespeare. Quality fishing tackle since 1897. And by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
I better drop down there with him and see if I can get him enticed.
You can see JR's. That's his jig, that little top line up there, that black line, that's him, and he's dropped down into it. You don't need to spend a lot of money to be able to locate fish like this, and I'll tell you, Garmin's really stepping up to get back into the freshwater market, and proof's in the pudding today. Boy, I mean, it's just a matter of time for one of them fixing to just thump it.
Like that?
Yeah. It was just a matter of time. You just do it. Man, what another good crappie too.
Look at that school right there you pulled him out of.
Yep.
Now these are on the shallow side. This water warming up, they may start moving in a little shallower. Some of my winter arsenal, my fall and spring winter arsenal is in this box.
Can't have enough colors, can you, JR?
No, you never can have too many. There he is.
Bingo, bang. That one's got some shoulders on him too, JR. That one's got some shoulders. Oh, buddy. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, who wouldn't like doing this?
I'd about to. I don't want to fish with them if they don't like this. I really, really don't. Right there. Unbelievable. Boy, they're good and cold. Just, man, they're nice. They are nice. And here in a bit, we're going to show you guys that we've got crappie in here. We're not just rehooking these things and putting them in there. You know, you get accused of that sometime, you know, but you don't have to do that to make a show with JR. We've been out here just a couple of hours and we're getting a big mess of crappie. Big old mess of crappie.
Well, I'll have to be honest with you, Scott. I didn't think we'd have done this good yet by this time of day with that big cold front went through.
Well, you're better than you think you are. Now, with these crappie in this transition stage, what are they going to do? Let's say in the winter time to the spring, what are they fixing to do next?
Okay, what they will do is when you start on your fall transition, especially here, and most of what I'm talking about, Scott, is here on the main lake of Stockton, because that's where I spend most of my time. What they're going to do is, and usually it coincides with the fall turnover, and if the fall turnover like it did this year come before the water really got cold, and then there's another key on our Stockton crappie, is the loons. We have such an influx of loons that feed on them. There's you another fish.
I'm listening.
When these loons come in, like one day last week, I counted 35 in one cove.
Wow.
And what they'll do is they like crappie as well as me and you do. And when they go to diving in those crappie start their transition to deep water.
Yeah.
And the same thing in the spring, only we turn it around.
Right.
But when they start coming out of their deep water and following those schools of shad, let's take late February for instance. If you can find an influx of warm water or in an area where there's rocky banks and the water's warming up, you may literally be able to see the schools of those crappie 4 to 5 foot under the surface.
You know, you're always watching us catch fish. You've seen us clean fish. You've seen us cook fish, and you've probably even seen us eat fish. But what we really haven't touched on, and is one of the most important things about our fishing trip, is how we're storing our fish. This is the new Game Saver from Food Saver. We've all had Food Savers, been using them for the past 20 years, but now they've come out with a new product called Game Saver. This is one of these units right here you can take with you anywhere. You can plug it into the wall and also here in your boat, in any cigarette lighter adapter or whatnot, and you can use this. This thing is handy as a pocket on a shirt, and I'm going to show you why. It works just like the original Food Savers. You know, you can get these bags about anywhere. You know, they're getting to where they're really affordable. Put your fillets in here, about however many that you want. As far as whatever, I like just putting like 3 or 4 in there, because that's about all I can eat in one setting. You know, these bags right here, they come in different sizes. This right here, I think these are the quart size, and it's one of my favorite ones for fish. It works just like the other one. Just put her in there, close her down, vacuum seal it, sucks everything out of there. After it's sealed, just pop it right back out. Perfectly vacuum packed. 4 beautiful crappie fillets right there. That's what you're looking for. There's no reason to go out and spend all that time and effort to catch fish only to waste them with freezer burn. The new Game Saver by Food Saver. The name says it all right there. And you'll always have fresh fish to eat.
Now to do just a brief recap on what we've done today is number 1, location. You've got to be where the fish are if you're going to catch them. And that's the transition spots during a transition period from deep to shallow or from shallow to deep. Number 2, you've got to key in on what they're feeding on. And during these cold water periods, it's almost exclusively in this clear water lake is going to be shad. And then time of day is also important. Sometimes you may have a morning bite, but after a strong front and that water drops 3 or 4 degrees overnight, you're going to look at afternoon fishing. There he is. Boy, you talk about a light bite.
Yeah, I didn't even see that one.
Mr. Black, I'll bet you. Yep.
Man,
Mr. Black.
That's pretty cool to be able to watch that though. Another one, just called the shot, didn't we?
Yeah, he was laying there waiting for you. There's a nice black.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Looky there, looky there. We've been out here a couple of hours, probably 2.5 hours, caught 20, 21 fish. I don't know of a man out there that crappie fishes that wouldn't want to catch this mess of crappie right here in no sooner time we did. But that's all the time we got for this week's show. I want to thank JR Oldham for inviting us down here to his home lake in Stockton to show us how to catch these fish. And we've had a great time, JR. As always, we have a good time.
And the weather cooperated.
Weather cooperated for once. That's a wonderful thing there. But hey, we're out of time. We got to go. Hope you enjoyed the show. And just remember, we'll be out there somewhere next week, right here on the G3 Sportsman. Thanks for watching. Boy, that'll make a good eater.
You will.
That'll make a good eater right there. Thank you, JR.
You bet.
Oh yeah, now that's a good mess of crappie right there. That's a good mess of crappie right there. If you guys ever get over to Stockton Lake for a fishing trip, I highly recommend, if you're looking for a place to stay at the cabins on Stockton Lake, right there in Stockton. I'll tell you, this place is just as clean as a pin, brand new, neat little old cabins. Can sleep any amount of people that you bring down there. They got multiple choices right there. This is where I stay, and you won't find a better place on the lake than cabins at Stockton Lake. The G3 Sportsman has been brought to you by G3 Boats, a great catch. Fiocchi Ammunition, what's in your gun? Abu Garcia, for life. Food Saver, the #1 vacuum sealer. Garmin, we'll take you there. Mossback Fish Racks. Berkeley, catch more fish. Sony. Beretta, 500 years, one passion. Shakespeare. And by Yamaha, when you want the best. Ooh. Boy, I mean tell you, I'm in the trolling motor.
Oh no, you better kick it off.
I love it when you call your shot. Right.
So it's a chase game. You never know where you're going to be, except in the trolling motor.
Yeah, I'm in the trolling motor again.
Oh my.
Oh boy, there's another JR right there. There's another, look at that, man, that's a big one.